Hello, I'm Mukala Kabongo, and on this edition of the LCTV News, free COVID vaccine clinic, high school graduation ceremonies, Special Olympics basketball game, and more. On the Lynn Lowdown, we were joined by members of the Lynn Public Library. Here is this week's LCTV News for Friday, June 4th, 2021.
This episode of the LCTV News is brought to you by Columbia Insurance Agency, serving the Lynn community for over 60 years with home, auto, and business insurance.
Earlier this week, an announcement was made about the partnership between the Massachusetts Department of Public Health and Market Basket to offer a mobile vaccination clinic at the Lynn store that began on June 3rd. The mobile clinic will have the FRASER vaccine on hand for any resident who is interested in being vaccinated. As of May 28th, the city has reported 35 positive COVID-19 cases and 4 positive COVID-19 cases in the last 24 hours. An added bonus for those who receive their vaccine will also receive a $25 Market Basket gift card. The mobile clinic will be held today and tomorrow from 4 to 7 p.m. and next Thursday, Friday, and Saturday from 11 to 2 p.m. As of June 2nd, there are 46,152 Lynn residents who are fully vaccinated and 9,600 who are partially vaccinated. Overall, 55% of the Lynn population has received their first dose of either the Pfizer, Moderna, or the single dose of the Johnson & Johnson vaccine, according to the Massachusetts Department of Public Health. The class of 2021 has completed a long and daunting school year filled with online learning and COVID restrictions. Students from Lynn Classical, Lynn English, Lynn Tech, KIPP Academy, and Fecht O'Leary all crossed the stage this week. The ceremonies featured heartfelt speeches and testimonies from students as well as administrators. Kendall Broomstein, Lynn Tech's guest speaker, spoke about being rejected multiple times before finally getting her acceptance into the IBEW 103 apprenticeship. Lynn English graduated 436 students, the most by any school, and class president Carlos Prudencio called this class the best class to ever walk the halls of Lynn English High. Lynn Classical also had a big graduating class with 369 students crossing the stage on Wednesday. Lynn Classical alum and State Senator Brendan Crichton said the sky's the limit for this group of students who went through so much to get to this point. KIPP Academy graduated 118 students to end the week-long graduation ceremonies. Mayor McGee told the graduating class to go out there and have positive change not only in the city of Lynn, but the nation as well. Nina King, valedictorian, spoke on how her class used their voice to spark change and defy the odds. Congratulations to all the students of the class of 2021. Lynn police are searching for a man who was involved in an armed standoff last Saturday on Liberty Street. Approximately around 7:15, Lynn police received a call about an unwanted guest. Upon arrival, one officer believed he saw a gun on the suspect. When officers got inside the building, the suspect had jumped out a second-floor window and fled the scene. Police say the suspect is a 36-year-old white male. If anyone has any information about the suspect, contact Lynn PD. On Monday, a 35-year-old man was shot on South Common Street and has died, according to Lynn Police Department. Lynn police found Brian Poitras suffering from a gunshot wound. He was pronounced dead at Mass General Hospital. No suspect has been apprehended, and the shooting is under investigation by the state police and Lynn police. An early morning accident on Thursday has left 4 injured. Lynn police and Lynn fire received a call around 10:30 a.m. about an accident on Central Ave, Monroe, and Willow Street. Witnesses said that a silver Chevrolet was struck by a speeding vehicle. The impact caused the vehicle to flip over. 4 passengers were in the vehicle at the time of the crash, including a 95-year-old man. The victims were taken to Salem Hospital with non-life-threatening injuries. Yesterday at Lynn Classical, a Special Olympics basketball matchup between Lynn Tech and Lynn Classical took place, and LCTV was in attendance. In a shortened season, Lynn Classical students got the opportunity to compete one last time before the end of the school year.
I think it's really, really great for the schools, the school system to work together to provide the same athletic opportunities that they provide the rest of the kids.
Coaches Tommy DeVoe and Stephen Basden were happy to do their part in having the students compete in front of staff and family.
We really like doing this. Everyone enjoys it. Parents love it. It's a fun time.
What I hope this does is bridge the gap between the school system and then the Special Olympics program that's here in Lynn.
In the midst of competition, coaches had put forth goals not only for the student athletes, but for themselves as well.
For me personally, it's just each kid hitting their goal. We had like Jack on the court who was playing, and his goal for today was just running up and down the court. He was able to get a rebound and dribble, and like that's something we've worked on all season.
Personally, it motivates me just, seeing, like I like putting it together. There's a lot of opportunities that we can bring for them that if we keep trying.
Winning or losing didn't matter much. It was the joy of the students that was priceless, and hopefully this continues on in the future.
Getting these kids on a team, learning, working together, it's a good thing. They're learning a lot of stuff.
I think the parents are absolutely incredibly proud and grateful to see their kids play on the classical varsity court where everything else happens and wear these jerseys and be able to go to their child's basketball game.
It's a good thing. I think everyone enjoys it, and I see a good future in it. We're going to stick with it. We're going to keep doing it. So hopefully we can just keep it going and only make it bigger and better.
With LCTV, I'm Mukala Kabongo. The North Shore Navigators kick off their season today, and LCTV spoke with coaches and players during their media day on Wednesday. Here's more. Less COVID restrictions, North Shore Navigators players have a little bit of normalcy in preparation for Friday's opener against the Vermont Mountaineers. Talk to me a little your approach this year.
Yeah, no, it's definitely different. I mean, I went to Yale and we didn't get to play this spring, so we had to prepare in a different way than others and kind of just do what we could, practice when we could, and do the best we could to prepare for the season without having gameplay.
Manager Bob Macaluso is looking to start off with a bang this season, just as they did last year.
You like to get off to a good start. I'd like to do that again, that's for sure. But just create some more consistency so we don't get in those long losing streaks.
Navs players believe they are in better shape than they were at the beginning of last season, and with their roster, the sky is the limit.
The biggest difference from last year to this year is we haven't really taken time off from baseball. I think a day our season ended, I kept throwing and kept running.
I think we look really good. I think we look real fresh. I know some guys are just coming back from the regionals, so some of them could be a little tired, but I mean, overall, everyone's looking real fresh, real crisp.
We've got some size, we've got some good players, and hopefully we can turn into some wins.
We have a great group, a lot of talented guys out here. Excited to, get started with them.
The most exciting part of Friday's opener is the return of fans to FRASER Field.
Yeah, I think it's great for them. I think, it fires them up a little bit more, no doubt. It's nice to have people watching you.
Yeah.
Fans take college summer ball extremely serious, and they treat their team nothing with respect, and I think that's what a lot of these kids deserve.
With LCTV, I'm Mukala Kabongo. Now for the sports update. Lynn Classical baseball team got back in the win column yesterday with a 15-4 victory over Revere. Freshmen Darnell Leon and Almani Medina came up big for the Rams. Leon went 3 for 4 at bat, scoring 3 runs and 3 RBIs. Medina went 2 for 2 at bat, scoring 2 runs with 2 RBIs. Pitcher Nico Ramirez went 4 innings, striking out 4 batters. The Rams host Medford tomorrow at 2 p.m. St. Mary's softball team continued their hot streak as they routed Masco 14-3. Alyssa Grossi went 3 for 5 at bat with a homer and 3 RBIs to lead the way for the Lady Spartans. The Spartans are back on the field today against Cardinal Spellman. First pitch is at 4 p.m. The St. Mary's boys baseball team shut out Cardinal Spellman on Tuesday 5-0 to move to 8-5 on the season. Pitcher Eric Bridges went 5 scoreless innings while the Spartans' offense was led by Zach Fisher, who went 2 for 3 with 3 RBIs. The Spartans visit Archbishop Williams today. First pitch is set for 4 p.m. And now for the pros. The Boston Celtics season came to an end this past Tuesday as the Brooklyn Nets eliminated them in Game 5 of their first-round matchup, 123-109. The Celtics had no answer for Brooklyn's big three of Kyrie Irving, Kevin Durant, and James Harden, who combined to score 83 of the Nets' 123 points. Jason Tatum once again led the Celtics as he had a team-high 32 points. This was Tatum's third straight game of 30-plus points in this series. For the Nets, they will take on the Milwaukee Bucks in round 2 of the postseason beginning tomorrow night. As for the Celtics, a shakeup in the front office and their coaching staff occurred when President of Basketball Operations Danny Ainge announced he was stepping down from his position on Wednesday, and Brad Stevens will be elevated as the new President of Basketball Operations. With Stevens' move, the Celtics will be in search of a new head coach this offseason. Some candidates who are rumored to apply for the coaching position are Lloyd Pierce, Jason Kidd, and Chauncey Billups. The Boston Bruins took a 2-1 series lead in their second-round matchup with the New York Islanders after their 2-1 overtime victory. Craig Smith got things going for the Bees with his first-period goal off a Taylor Hall assist to take the 1-0 lead. Both teams would go scoreless in the second period as the defense on both sides ramped up. Matthew Barzal would tie things up at 1 apiece in the third for the Islanders. Brad Marchand would be the hero in this one as he scored off a Patrice Bergeron assist to give the Bruins the victory in overtime. This was the second straight overtime game for the two teams and the fourth overtime game of the postseason for the Bruins. Game 4 will be tomorrow night. Puck drops at 7:15 p.m. The Boston Red Sox avoided being swept by the Houston Astros yesterday as they came out with the 5-1 victory. The Sox offense, which only managed 4 runs in the first 3 games, started to click in this one as the bats were connecting. Christian Arroyo got things going in the third with his 3-run homer to give the Sox the early 3-0 lead. In the 7th, Xander Bogaerts' double would bring in J.D. Martinez and Alex Verdugo to make it a 5-0 game. That would be all the offense the Sox needed as Martin Perez was strong on the mound, going 7 innings, striking out 4 batters and allowing 0 runs. The Sox have a quick turnaround as they travel to Yankee Stadium for a 3-game series with the New York Yankees. First pitch for tonight is set for 7:05 p.m. On Wednesday, the Lynn Public Library went to their summer hours beginning from 9 a.m. until 5 p.m. Monday, Wednesday, and Thursday, and 9 a.m. until 8 p.m. on Tuesday. Also, the library is now open to the public without appointments. We spoke with Theresa Hurley and Lindsey Robert of the Lynn Public Library on this week's Lowdown. Here's this week's Lowdown. Hello and welcome to another edition of the Lynn Lowdown, and today we have 2 special guests from the Lynn Public Library, Mr. Lindsey Robert and Theresa Hurley. How are you 2 doing today?
Doing good, thanks.
Great. Got to hear it. It's a little cold outside today, but we'll get through this interview. But first, let's just talk about the Lynn Public Library and the year that it had last year. Can you just talk a little about some of the impact that the pandemic had on the library's operations in 2020?
It completely upended our operations as we knew it. When we had to close last March for the pandemic, we kind of all got together and tried to provide as much service as we could electronically, digitally, keep it in contact with our patrons, able to sign up for library cards online. And we really increased our electronic services, our ebooks, our audiobooks, so that people can still enjoy what they love to do, read, without having to, come and check out a book because that was not an available option at the time.
And were there a good amount of individuals still using the library through the online services? Did you guys feel like there was a good amount of people that were still using the library, I should say?
Yeah, absolutely. We had hundreds of new patrons sign up for temporary cards while we were not able to be here in the building. And we were signing them up remotely as staff was trying to work from home, but hundreds, well over 400 patrons got temporary cards so that they could have immediate access to the online resources and get ebooks and things like that. So it was a pretty good turnout, even when we weren't able to be here in person.
Why is that so important?
I have some statistics I could get to you of.
Oh yeah, please share. Hey, share those statistics for us.
It's going to take me a minute to grab them.
Oh, okay. Well, while you do that, Lindsey, why was that so important that so many people signed up during the pandemic? Because the library is such an essential part of life for everybody, because as they say, reading is fundamental. Well, why was that so important that people were still able to make use of the public library?
I think because people were stuck at home and they needed, you can only watch so much television. You can only do, so much of the same things. You can only over and over again. So to be able to get a library card, to be able to access those ebooks right away or e-audio or other online resources, give people another opportunity to do something different. You had to keep yourself occupied. You had to keep things moving. People were looking for recipes. There's cookbooks available, all that kind of stuff. So the fact that we were able to offer another type of avenue still kept people entertained and informed when they couldn't come here to get those items physically.
And as a head of adult circulation, what little obstacles did that give for your job last year, for your position? Was there any obstacles or any challenges that you faced in your position last year?
Oh, definitely. Just trying to keep staff fresh. You come into work every day and you have a routine, you're used to doing the same things. And then when that's completely taken away, you want to keep staff members engaged, trying to keep patrons engaged, trying to keep patrons connected, even, when we can't be connected anymore. So we did a lot of social media, and that kept people interacting with us even when we couldn't interact with them in person. And then even doing the things like registering patrons for temporary cards still helped the staff kind of stay into a routine and, be able to keep their mind fresh on what we do here at the library. And so it wasn't so much of just a long break. We were still trying to do some type of activity that would, keep us going. So it was just trying to switch gears. I wouldn't call it a challenge. It was just having to change what we are used to doing.
Gotcha. And as you guys started to get back into the library, get back into the flow of things, get back to regular operations, what was the plan like when you guys first got in? Okay, this is what we're gonna do, to get things quite not back to normal, but to be on the path to normalcy. And how did you plan out the next several months of operations when you guys did return to the library?
Right. We totally had to figure out how can we provide, physical services now, but in a safe way. And where we weren't allowed to, let patrons into the building right away, we jumped right on the opportunity to provide curbside services. So as soon as we came back in, we started accepting items that had been checked out for, months now, and tried to get those processed and back off of patrons' accounts and out to new patrons who wanted those items, as well as starting to order items for patrons and scheduling time for them to stop by and pick them up. So our curbside service took off right away. And we actually have a solid base of regular patrons who take advantage of the curbside service even now as we're opening up by appointment.
So, you know, and for this year, there's a lot. Oh, are you back, Theresa, with the statistics?
Yes.
Okay, please share us those stats.
So our stats from March 2020 through February 2021, we registered 555 new patrons. We circulated 19,214 items, hard copy, books, magazines, movies. We circulated 24,615 ebooks, e-audiobooks, and e-magazines. We fulfilled 4,427 holds. We served 2,953 curbside patrons. We conducted 2,445 curbside transactions, and we replied to 316 genealogy research requests.
Wow. That's a lot.
So we still worked.
Yeah, you guys.
It's a different kind of work.
Yes, it was. That's a lot of work and a lot of numbers. What are some of the things that are planned for this year? You know, for the summer and into the fall. What are some of the stuff that we should all be looking out for from the Lynn Public Library?
So we're open by appointment now. Patrons can call and make an appointment and come in and browse our adult, our young adult, and our children's collections. They can also make an appointment to use the computers or search through the microfilm if they like. We, in the very near future, we'll be opening more up to walk-ins, and you won't have to make an appointment per se. You'll be able to just come to the library. We hope to do that very soon. So we'd say stay tuned for that. We're going to continue our curbside service because, as I mentioned, there is a base of patrons who really appreciate the curbside service, and it kind of cuts down on how many people are in the building at one time to keep things keep them safe as we go through this. So we will continue that. We continue to help patrons with their account. Sometimes you have account questions or need to renew your account and things like that. We try to do that over the phone or by email. And we're continuing to register temporary cards, which allow patrons to access our online resources right away. So there's a good benefit to that, but you can always transition that temporary card into a permanent physical card, which you could come and pick up at the library. We are doing take and make crafts. We do one for the adult and young adult department about once a month. We're doing one right now, which is like an herb starter kit this week, but then we'll have a new one next month. We're also renewing our museum pass program. So our discount passes for museums, we're in the process of following up with the museums and renewing that whole program. So we'll have museum passes available very soon as well. And as the weather is much nicer, we plan on trying to do pop-up libraries outside where we'll have materials available outside for people who might not be comfortable coming inside just yet, which is totally understandable, but might be able to meet patrons out on the sidewalk.
There's a lot happening. Theresa, I wanted to get your thoughts on this because I remember I read a story or article some years back that libraries were in danger of getting funded. You know, public libraries throughout the nations were not being funded, or they were dangers of not properly funding libraries, which causing some in certain places to close down. Can you just talk about why it's so important to keep a public library, especially in a community like Lynn? We have so many people, there's so much history in Lynn. Can you just talk about the importance of having a public library?
Sure. You know, public libraries historically have been the place for people to come to get answers, whether if they're doing research or even if it's just a place to sit and relax, to read. All of our resources are free. We're here to help. We're open. Well, we will be open quite, you know, when we were open quite a few hours a week so that it was accessible. We were open 64 hours a week, 6 days a week. And we hope to get to that soon. I mean, there are so many things that we do that, you know, it's not just books. And right before COVID, we had started a library of things. And we started with cake pans, like novelty cake pans if you want to borrow for your kid's 5th birthday. We have the number 5 and a bunch of different ones. So we want to start something like that and have different items, and not necessarily books or movies or anything like that that people can take out and borrow. You know, ukulele is a popular item that people want to learn how to play. Maybe some tools, some gardening tools. You know, we really want to know what the community wants. And it, you know, it would be something that, you know, most people would use one time. And why would you want to buy it when you can borrow it from the library?
Yeah, definitely. It's definitely a great place. I know when I was in middle school and high school, I definitely used the library for a lot of my research projects. And it was just, and as you said, it was a good place to just come out and relax sometimes. When you just need some peace and quiet, it's a great place. We only have a couple minutes left. So can you please let the public know if they want any information or if they want to contact the two of you, please let them know how they can do that.
Sure. So you can, our website has so much information. It has everything from signing up for a temporary card, which will get you started if you've never had a library card, or maybe you need a new card number, things like that. And then it has all of our up-to-date. We do our best to stay up-to-date with making sure that all of our current services, our hours, when things are available for patrons are listed on the website. It is the best resource. From there, you can call us. Anyone here at the library is happy to help answer questions over the phone. The phone number is 781-595-0567. You can even call directly to the children's department, directly to the adult department, or to reference. But anyone here is happy to help and steer you in the right direction and help you find out what you're looking for. And then follow us on social media, Facebook, Twitter, Instagram. And we make sure that's even more up to date than the website, I think sometimes, is we're always getting new information out that way. So definitely find us on any of those social media platforms, and that's the best way to get information about the library.
All right, awesome. Thank you two once again for coming on to talking to us. We really appreciate it on having you two ladies on. And when we are fully open back to the public, we hope to have you all come to the studio for a show. So we really appreciate this.
Thank you for having us on.
Thank you very much for helping us spread the word.
No problem. You guys have been watching the Lynn Lowdown. I'm your host, Mukala Kabongo. Have a great day, ladies and gentlemen. Now time for local events from the community calendar. This Saturday, the Goldfish Pond Association will be hosting their island maintenance from 9 a.m. until 10 a.m. The maintenance will go on every Saturday until September. Volunteers will load equipment on a small boat and set sail for the island. If anyone wants to join a rotating maintenance team, they should contact Tony at ajdesq@yahoo.com or call 781-325-6148. This weekend, a series of vaccine clinics will be taking place throughout the city. The Brickyard Collaborative will be hosting their second vaccine clinic on Saturday at their Linden Street location. Those who received their first doses of the vaccine should bring their vaccine cards for their second dose. First-timers are also welcome to visit the clinic to receive their first dose. This clinic is a collaboration with Lynn Community Health Center and will go on from 1 p.m. until 5 p.m. On Tuesday from 7 p.m. until 9 p.m., the Lynn Rainbow Lighting Ceremony will take place in downtown Lynn. This year will feature performances from the Cultural Latina Dance Academy, Boogie Bros, and Jess Towers. This event is free to the public. On Wednesday, the Middle School City Meet will take place at Manning Field from 3:30 p.m. until 4:30. Students from Thurgood Marshall Middle School, Breed, and Pickering will all take part in this meet. Good luck to all the student athletes. Reminder that the weekly free COVID-19 testing hosted by Mass General Brigham, the Kraft Center for Community Health, and North Shore Medical Center will be taking place on Monday from 1 p.m. until 5 p.m. at Lynn Marketplace on 43 State Street. The Salvation Army Weekly Food Pantry will not take place this upcoming week as they make the transition back to their Franklin Street location. The food pantry will return on June 15th. Visit the Salvation Army website at salvationarmy.org for more information. To find out more about community events, visit the LCTV website, linntv.org, and click on the community calendar. Thank you for watching the LCTV News. Make sure to subscribe to the LCTV Facebook page as well as the LCTV YouTube channel. Also visit linntv.org to watch any show at any time on your computer, phone, or tablet. I'm Mukala Kabongo. Have a great day.